Welcome to English with Miss Julia. This lesson is aimed at both beginner and intermediate learners. We read a story with the title Milo, the Little Maltese Adventurer. I encourage you to pause the video regularly, identify new vocabulary, and practice your pronunciation. That being said, let's get started. In a cozy seaside town lived a tiny white Maltese named Milo. His fur was as soft as a cloud, and his eyes sparkled like morning dew. Milo loved running along the beach, chasing seagulls and listening to the waves. But deep down, he dreamed of having a grand adventure beyond the shore. Milo lived with a kind girl named Emma, who adored him dearly. She brushed his fur every morning and tied a blue ribbon around his neck. They were the best of friends and did everything together. Still, Milo often gazed out the window, wondering what lay beyond the hills. One sunny morning, as Emma painted seashells, Milo spotted a bright red balloon drifting by. It floated low, bouncing over the sand, almost close enough to catch. Without thinking, Milo dashed after it. The balloon bobbed and danced, leading him farther and farther from home. He ran through the dunes and past the lighthouse until the town disappeared behind him. The balloon soared over a meadow full of wild flowers. Milo barked happily, thinking this must be the start of his big adventure. The little Maltese wagged his tail and followed it eagerly. In the meadow he met a butterfly with golden wings. "Hello," said Milo. "Have you seen a red balloon?" The butterfly fluttered in circles and giggled. "Follow me." And off they went, chasing color and sunshine together. The butterfly led Milo to a small pond surrounded by reeds. Frogs croaked cheerfully, and dragonflies zipped through the air. The red balloon was tangled in a cattail at the water's edge. Milo barked with joy. His first adventure prize. But when he tried to grab it, splash! His paw slipped and he fell into the pond. He came up sputtering, his silky fur dripping wet. The frogs laughed and clapped their little green hands. Milo shook himself so hard that the water sprayed everywhere like rain. Just then a kind old turtle surfaced nearby. "Careful, little one," the turtle said slowly. "The pond is deep." Milo bowed politely. "Thank you, Mr. Turtle. I'm on an adventure." The turtle smiled. "Then may your journey be full of good lessons." After drying in the sun, Milo continued through the meadow. The red balloon floated beside him now, tied gently to his ribbon. He trotted happily, his paws leaving tiny prints in the soft earth. Birds sang above him as if cheering him on. If you are enjoying this story, please click the like button and do consider subscribing to our channel in order to receive your next video. Soon he reached a shady forest filled with tall trees. The sunlight peeked through the leaves in golden patches. It was peaceful until he heard a rustle behind a bush. Milo froze, his ears twitching. Out popped a squirrel holding an acorn twice its size. "Who are you?" squeaked the squirrel. "I'm Milo, and I'm on an adventure," said the Maltese proudly. The squirrel nodded. "Then you'll need a snack. Every explorer does," and handed him a tiny nut. Milo thanked the squirrel and carried the nut in his mouth. He didn't eat it, but he tucked it under his ribbon for luck. As he walked on, the forest grew darker and cooler. Strange shadows danced around him, whispering softly. He felt a little scared, but remembered Emma's voice. "Be brave, my little fluff ball." So he lifted his chin and marched forward. The red balloon glowed faintly in the dim light, like a lantern. It guided him along the winding path. At last, Milo came to a small wooden bridge over a stream. The planks creaked as he stepped carefully across. Halfway over, he saw something shiny glimmering below. Curious as ever, he peeked through the gaps. Down in the water was a silver fish wearing a crown. "Good day," said Milo. "Are you a king?" The fish nodded proudly. "I am King Ripple, ruler of the stream." He flicked his tail, sending up tiny splashes that sparkled like stars. "Would you like to see my underwater castle?" asked King Ripple. "Oh, yes, please," Milo barked excitedly. The fish laughed. "Then close your eyes and jump." Milo hesitated for a second and then leaped. To his surprise, he didn't sink. He floated in a bubble, drifting beneath the water's surface. All around him were castles made of shells and gardens of glowing coral. Little Fish bowed as he floated by. It was the most magical thing he had ever seen. King Ripple gave him a shiny pearl. "Take this to remember your courage," he said kindly. "Thank you, Your Majesty," Milo barked with delight. Then the bubble carried him gently back to the shore. The red balloon was still waiting for him, bobbing softly in the air. Milo tied the pearl to his ribbon beside the lucky nut. He was feeling quite proud of his growing collection of treasures. His adventure had only just begun. The forest soon opened to rolling hills covered in tall grass. The wind ruffled Milo's fur and carried the sweet smell of flowers. He chased grasshoppers, barked at clouds, and rolled down slopes laughing. Every hill felt like a new world to explore. As the sun began to set, he spotted a farmhouse in the distance. A gentle light glowed in the window, and the smell of soup floated through the air. Milo's tummy rumbled. He decided to visit, politely, of course. At the door sat a grey cat with bright green eyes. "Who goes there?" she meowed. "I'm Milo the adventurer," he said. The cat purred. "Purr. Then you may enter, brave traveller. Dinner is about to begin." Inside the farmhouse, a kind farmer and his wife smiled when they saw him. "What a fine little dog," said the woman, setting down a bowl of stew. Milo wagged his tail gratefully as he ate every bite. The red balloon floated in the corner, glowing in the firelight. After dinner, the farmer wrapped him in a soft towel to dry his fur. "You must belong to someone," he said gently. Milo thought of Emma and his heart squeezed a little. He missed her terribly. That night Milo curled up by the fire with the cat beside him. Outside, the wind sang softly across the fields. He dreamed of Emma calling his name. He knew he had to find his way home. At dawn, Milo thanked the farmer and set off once again. The red balloon floated behind him like a faithful friend. He followed the scent of salt and sea carried on the breeze. His paws knew the way. Home was near. Along the road he met a group of ducks crossing a puddle. "Good morning," said Milo. "Have you seen the ocean?" The lead duck quacked. "Keep going east, little dog. You'll smell the waves soon." Milo wagged his tail and hurried on. By midday, the hills turned back into sandy dunes. He saw the familiar lighthouse rising tall in the distance. His heart leaped with joy. "Emma!" he barked, running as fast as his tiny paws could go. Emma was standing on the beach, tears in her eyes, calling his name. When she saw him, she dropped her paintbrush and ran to meet him. "Milo!" she cried, scooping him into her arms. "You came back!" Milo licked her cheeks and wagged his tail furiously. He showed her his treasures, the pearl, the nut, and the red balloon. Together they walked home along the shore. The sun set behind them in gold and pink waves. Milo's fur shimmered in the light, soft and sparkling. He was the happiest dog in the world. That night, Emma placed Milo's treasures in a tiny wooden box. She wrote on the lid, Milo's Big Adventure. Milo snuggled beside her on the bed, his red balloon tied to the bedpost. He drifted off to sleep, dreaming of meadows and magic bubbles. From that day on, Emma called him Milo the Brave. Whenever they walked by the beach, everyone waved and smiled. Milo always puffed up proudly and barked, "Hello!" He loved being the little hero of the town. Sometimes, when the wind was just right, he would see a butterfly dancing by. He'd wag his tail, remembering his first friend from the meadow. The world was full of memories, shining like pearls in his heart. Adventure, he thought, was everywhere. On rainy days, Emma and Milo sat by the window together. She painted pictures of his adventures, the turtle, the squirrel, the fish king. Milo watched the colors swirl, wagging his tail at each new memory. Every painting told a story only they knew. One evening, a little boy passing by asked, "Is that the famous explorer dog?" Emma smiled. "Yes, that's Milo. He found his way home all by himself." The boy bent down to pat him. Milo gave a proud, gentle bark that seemed to say, "Never stop exploring." Years passed and Milo's fur grew softer and whiter, but his eyes still sparkled with adventure. He liked to nap by the window, dreaming of balloons and faraway lands. Emma always whispered, "You're my brave little Maltese." Sometimes the red balloon would drift softly against the wall, as if it too remembered. Milo would open one eye and smile. It was a reminder that courage can be small and fluffy, and love always leads you home. Every new puppy in town heard the story of Milo the Maltese. They dreamed of their own adventures one day. Milo wagged his tail as if to tell them, "The world is waiting for you." His heart was full of gentle wisdom. And so Milo's story became a legend by the sea, a tale of courage, kindness, and the joy of coming home. The waves whispered his name, and the gulls sang it in the wind. Milo, the little Maltese adventurer, brave, loyal, and loved forever. Thank you for reading this story with us. If you enjoyed it, please click the like button and do consider subscribing to our channel. This way we may reach learners from all over the world and assist them with their English language. We look forward to seeing you in our next lesson.